May I come in, sir?
Come in.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Have your seat, Ashma.
Thank you, sir.
Introduce yourself to the board members.
Yes, sir. Sir, I am Ashima. I am from Mewat, Haryana. I have done my graduation from Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Delhi, and I have done my graduation in Biochemical Engineering and Biotechnology. I also got a chance to pursue some of my research abroad. So I have been to Taiwan. I have been for a 3 months internship to Switzerland also. I tried to explore myself in various other fields in the college. So I was involved in music, in the singing, and I was also involved in volleyball in my college.
Okay. So what are you doing nowadays?
So right now I am preparing for the exam.
You're unemployed.
Yes, sir.
After having such a good training, having such a good exposure in different parts of the world, why you have chosen to remain unemployed?
Sir, so when I graduated, I worked for 1 year with ICICI Bank, Mumbai. But after that, I felt I needed more time to devote to studies because there is a rigorous process that one has to go through. So
you were product manager in ICICI.
Right, sir.
A biotech engineer being manager of product of financial nature.
Ji.
Which kind of financial products you were looking at?
Sir, I was managing the online portfolio for loans. So auto loan, personal loans, credit cards. So I was looking into those products.
What's the use of being a scientific training, biochemical, biotechnology? India, this is why India is lagging behind in technological progress.
Sir, here I would like to say, I decided to appear for civil services towards the end of my graduation. So going to ICICI Bank was more of a financial necessity for me because I did not want to prepare. So I wanted to have financial independence while I wanted to also prepare for the.
So are you confident that as administrator you can contribute to nation building better than being a biotech scientist and engineer?
Sir, I think I'll be contributing in a much more constructive way. I think this is because of 2 reasons. One, I find my passion and my inner calling in this direction more. And this is because throughout IIT, I have explored that I have always felt that there are 2 worlds. One which is wealthy, which is rich and which is prosperous and which is even aspiring for higher goals. But there is another strata of the society where even the basic necessities of life are missing. And this experience, it got manifested at various levels, especially when I got to explore the outside the country also. So I found that much more needs to be done in this side. I do not deny the fact that research is also important, but I found myself I found a greater role in this side because I come from Mewat and I have seen the difficulties of that area. So for me, it was not
wealth disparity is widening consistently. 1% Indians are having control over 73% of national wealth. Remaining 99% citizens are having only 27% wealth distributed among them. What measures you will take as an administrator to contain at least this widening wealth disparity?
Sir, I believe first of all we need to empower our workforce, especially that workforce which is not finding itself a good way to contribute to nation building, and for that health and education are the basic prerequisites. So I would make sure that in my district as an administrator these 2 faculties, these 2 basic necessities are available at a more accessible and in a more affordable manner. So that will be the first thing. Then second is that to contribute and to earn for themselves, they have to be engaged in some constructive employment activities. So I'll make sure that people in agriculture, if they are involved, it is remunerative. If they are in industries, they get minimum wages.
You are assuming that you will be an IAS officer. Let's say you are selected as an IPS officer. You are appointed as superintendent of police of a district.
Okay, sir.
Then what measures you will take?
Sir, I'll ensure that the poor, they are, I think, the worst affected by this inequality, and they are also somebody who do not have enough capacity to fight for their cases, especially when they get caught up in a legal battle. So I will make sure that some kind of legal assistance is always available to them. At the same time, I will ensure that safety, especially for women, is available, and that we can do by either involving the community as a measure, or we can also identify certain hotspots of the region and then take a targeted approach to tackling crime.
Thank you, Aspa.
Okay, you belong to Mewat, and Mewat is facing all three social problems. One is called casteism, second is regionalism, and third is communalism, right? Look, you are a student of biochemical. Out of three, which one is what simple compound, which one is complex compound, and which is composite complex compound? Because without knowing chemistry, you couldn't understand the problem. So casteism, regionalism, and communalism, which one is simple compound?
So can I take a minute?
Yes, of course.
So I'm not able to.
Okay, look, against caste system in India since medieval period, look, evolution of Islam took place in India, Sikhism evolved, but in spite of that, within Muslim in India and Sikh, there are caste system.
Right, sir.
What are the causes behind this? Because in this religion, there is no place of caste. But in practice, there is a much stronger caste feeling among Muslims and Sikh within India. Why?
Sir, with respect to Islam as a religion, I believe many of the Islamic practitioners, they are the converts of Hinduism or some other religion.
Okay, thank you. So you did work in Quebec, Montreal,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Why in Quebec there is a feeling of alienation in comparison to rest of the part of Canada? Because a referendum has already taken place in Quebec.
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
Okay, you also did work in Taiwan. What is the old name of Taiwan?
Sorry, sir, I'll read about it.
So you are a student of chemistry, biochemistry. In Switzerland, you did work. There is experiment going on that is called Large Hadron Collider. Why proton is selected for what? Getting God particles.
Sir, I'll read about it.
Look, what is Montreal Convention? Because you did work in Montreal.
Sir, Montreal Protocol is basically to prevent the depletion of ozone. So
yes, it is. But why ozone depletion is much more in Antarctica, over Antarctica? But in Canada, there is relatively less. Over Arctic, there is less depletion of ozone. Why?
Sir, because there is more intensification of polar stratospheric clouds in the Antarctic region.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Ashima.
Yes, sir.
Ashima, you belong to Mewat. What is the historical significance of Mewat?
Yes, sir. So, sir, Mewat has this Mayo community, and these are the people who have vehemently contributed into the first revolt of independence that happened in 1857. Also, they contributed to fight against Babur when Babur came to India. So, in Battle of Khanwa, this community contributed a lot.
Any example from Delhi Sultanate? Do you remember any Sultan of Delhi Sultanate who is related to Mewat?
Sir, I'll read about it.
Okay. I can see in your DF that your hobby is ghazal.
Yes, sir.
So who was the founder of ghazal in India?
Sir, I'm not.
What is Thumri?
Sir, Thumri is a style which is famous in North India, and it is a modified form of raga which is presented.
What is Qasida?
Sir, Qasida is the rhythm which is there in ghazal. So there is a poetic rhythm in the ghazal as a writing form.
What is the difference between Nazm and Qasida?
Sir, I'm not aware of that.
Do you remember any ghazal? Can you tell me 2 lines of the poetry of any famous Urdu poet?
Sir, I know of ghazals from the songs only. So Ranjish Hi Sahi.
Who sang this song?
Sir, Mehdi Hasan, sir.
Mehdi Hasan is an Indian ghazal singer?
Sir, he was basically from Pakistan. So he's from Pakistan, sir.
Okay. See, in prime ministerial form of government, what is the role of Council of Minister? Do you think that there is any role of Council of Minister in prime ministerial form of government?
Sir,
What is prime ministerial form of government?
Sir, prime ministerial form of government is where the head of the state is prime minister and he is the executive. And there is collective responsibility principle where the Council of Minister. Sir, I'll read about it.
Okay, what is shadow cabinet?
So shadow cabinet is a cabinet where, though it is not directly elected, so it does not consist of ministers as such, but there are some other members who actually decide and define the policies of the government. So in that manner, it is something which is not mentioned in the constitution or in the legal framework.
Or it is cabinet in waiting, shadow cabinet.
Sir, I don't think so. It is cabinet in waiting.
What is the difference between caretaker government and interim government?
Sorry, sir, I will read.
What is the meaning of your name, Ashima?
Sir, meaning of my name is Aseem. In Hindi, it is called Aseem, which means limitless and infinite.
How will you use this, the meaning of your name, when you become an IAS officer? Do you have this quality?
Sir, I believe I have this quality, especially when it comes to perseverance and dedication related to any task. So, even during my college, I faced some situations where I had to always keep myself motivation, continue my work. So, I took up research projects, and at times it did not give results immediately. So, this perseverance and dedication has helped me to face those particular situations.
Okay, my last question, Ashima, why the filled water bottles are not kept in the car? Glass water bottles are not kept in the car. If the car is outside and there is sunshine,
Sir, I'll read about it.
Okay, Ashima, thank you.
Ashima, you belong to Haryana, basically. Yes. So, when we see the literacy rate, female literacy rate of Haryana, you know what is the female literacy rate?
It is around 66%, ma'am.
Okay, and there's also a problem of female feticide.
Yes.
There have been cases of honor killings. You think that Haryana, when it comes to its females, to its women, it's a bit harsh as a society?
Ma'am, I would definitely like to agree with you because there is a patriarchal mindset in Haryana and it is reflected in number of parameters if we take female feticide, if we take the labor force participation, if we take the violence against women, especially in case of dowry, and the number of rapes that happen. Haryana is said to be the rape capital also. So in that, if we see all these parameters, it definitely comes out that there is certain inhibition, certain restrictions when it comes to women in Haryana.
But why is Haryana so difficult to its women? I mean, they form a major part of its labor force. As we have seen, the Haryanvi women actually work very hard and they are actually responsible for sustaining as a society. But in reverse, we do not see that it actually appreciates that hard work. Can you tell me the root causes, the reasons?
Ma'am, one reason that is coming to my mind is rooted in history, because the location of Haryana is such that there have been a history of invasions, and so it was on the male population to prevent them from any kind of attacks. So this kind of dominance and this kind of subjugation has come from that historical angle. So now also that mindset is running where they think that women are weak and they need to be protected.
Women are more of a liability.
Maybe, yes ma'am.
You also have your graduation and post-graduation in biotech, biochemistry. Can you tell me what's the difference between chromatid and chromosome?
Ma'am, I'll read about it.
Chromosome and DNA?
Yes ma'am. So DNA is the basic unit of a chromosome. So in our body we
Then
have...
what is gene?
Gene is the smallest unit of a DNA.
So if you place it according to the size, it would be gene and then DNA and then chromosome and genome. Where would that be?
So genome will be a complete set of chromosomes of a...
So why is it that we are starting with gene but we are ending with genome?
I don't get your question.
Gene is the smallest unit as told by you and we are ending with the largest unit as genome. Why did we place similar names at the smallest end and the largest end?
Because ultimately gene is the unit which is affecting the function of the body.
There is Genome India project going on. Can you tell me its aim and the disadvantage or challenges that it may face in the future?
Right ma'am. So ma'am, this project is about sequencing the genome of the entire of the Indian population. So around 10,000 indigenous Indian individuals will be selected, and a reference grid will be made that will define the basic characteristics and the gene and the phenotype effect that they may show. So it will basically be a footprint or a fingerprint of Indian population and the genetic characteristics that they have. When it comes to the challenges and the drawbacks that it might have, so one that I can foresee is maybe the racism part, because once you know that this particular indigenous community might have this particular phenotype or they may be weak at this particular function, so there may be discrimination against them. And then other challenge that is faced is obviously of the privacy, because now you have sequenced the whole population of a country, so you have an information of people of the country
at the genetic
that
level
can be exploited.
Thank you, Ashima.
Ashima,
Yes.
you have worked with ICICI Bank. Now ICICI Bank was in news sometimes back
Yes, sir.
for a special type of agreement that it had signed with its former CEO, Ms. Chanda Kochar. Can you tell me what was that agreement?
Sir, I'm not aware of the particular agreement, but there was this news that the bank denied the
Some performance-based
overall
incentives?
compensation and bonus
That is
was
known as a clawback agreement.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. You have also been to Taiwan.
Yes.
So what is this One China policy and how does it relate to Taiwan?
Sir, in my opinion, I'm not so completely aware of this, but basically China says that Taiwan is their part, while Taiwan wants to assert its own independence. So this One China policy, I think, is of China's policy, which considers Taiwan to be its own part and not as a separate nation.
So China believes in it or China expects other countries also to follow it?
Sir, I believe China also expects that other countries support.
Okay, in China there is another principle, one country, two systems.
Right, sir.
So what is that?
So that is related to Hong Kong.
Only Hong Kong or like any other place?
Sir,
Macau?
yes, sir. That is there also.
Okay, so there have been a lot of protests in Hong Kong. Why these protests?
Sir, these protests were happening because there was a bill passed by China, that passed by the Hong Kong government itself, that gave China much more power of extradition.
But I understand the bill has been withdrawn. Then why the protests are still going on?
Sir, it is because now it has given rise to a tendency where, the bill was just a symptom, but the disease is much more rooted, and that is because the Hong Kong government wants to assert its own independence.
If we have to compare this with the CAA protests that are going on in various parts of our country, do you see a similar pattern that here also people are protesting that CAA plus NRC will be not in interest of particular community, but the government is saying that we are not bringing any NRC at a countrywide level, but still people are protesting?
Sir, I believe it is the right of people. If they believe something is against their interest, they have a right to protest. But at the same time, I believe there has been a miscommunication, which has
Does vibrant democracy means or justifies violent protest?
Sir, violent protests are never justified in a democracy. So protests and the right to dissent is always there. But if public property is destroyed, it is basically people harming themselves only.
Okay, Plato said that only clever people should vote. But if we modify it and say only educated people should be allowed to contest for elections, don't you think it will be better for Indian democracy?
Sir, first of all, I believe that being educated does not mean one is more informed or one has more knowledge to exercise. Even we see few illiterate people have great knowledge. So
then why have this eligibility criteria for even civil services? Why not take anybody?
Sir, because there is a lot of responsibility on such people and we cannot leave this to chance. So as an administrator or in a civil servant, you have...
Okay, who has been given this Nobel Prize for Chemistry this year? That means 2019.
Sir, I'm not able to recall the name, but I know the subject for which it has been given.
What is that?
Sir, it is about the response of cells to oxygen stress.
The Nobel Prize for Chemistry?
Yes, sir.
Or that is for Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine?
I'm sorry, sir. Yes, sir. It is
for lithium ion cells. Okay, my final question to you. You are a student of biotech. So what is this Section 3 Clause D of Indian Patents Act? And how does it help Indian pharmaceutical industry?
Sir, I'm not sure. Can I guess? Sir, I believe it is about the compulsory licensing.
Evergreening of patents?
Okay. Yes, sir. So, sir, evergreening of patents is basically the government of India's policy that does not allow the countries, especially the foreign countries.
Okay, patent is for how many years?
Sir, it is for 20 years.
20 years. Okay. And India is having product patent or process patent?
Sir, it is having process patent.
Sure.
Sir, in past it has once it has denied product patents, but
thank you.
Ashima,
yes.
Are you feeling a little stressed? Can you crack a joke for us?
Sir, nothing is coming to my mind.
Okay, you stay in Faridabad. Can you tell us who was Farid, after whom this Faridabad is called Faridabad?
Sir, he was the treasurer of... I'm forgetting the name.
Okay, fine. Who is considered father of Taiwan?
Sir, I'll read about it.
Okay, who is the captain of Indian women volleyball team?
Sir, I'll read about it.
Who is the president of India?
Ramnath Kovind.
Okay, thank you, Ashima. Nice talking to you. Have your seat. So, how was it?
This is not that good.
Still, how would you rate your performance on a scale of 1 to 10?
5.
Okay. So, what are the weak areas you could identify where you think that you need to work?
Sir, content-wise, I have a lot to prepare. But I feel the most important issue with me is that I feel stressed. And that is why even if I know the answer, I am not able to speak up that well. So, and I think that pressure keeps building if I am not able to answer. That happened.
It happens, or it has happened only today?
Sir, a certain level of calm is not always there with me. So I feel if I can muster up that thing, I'll be doing much better.
Yeah, that is what we expect. That means, because given your detailed background, you could have answered many of the questions very comfortably if you are not stressed. But you took this interview as a battle, and you found yourself to be cornered in the battleground. And sometimes you are coming back in vengeance. That could be perceived from this side. Enjoy the interview. Forget that this is a test of your talent or skill or etc. See, they are so experienced persons in Indian administration. You have got the opportunity to interact with them. Just think this way, that you have many things to learn in your life. You are still very young candidate, only I think 24, 25 years. And you have still gathered vast various types of experience you have gathered. Take this interview to be an experiencing opportunity to interact with the senior persons, to learn certain things. And the most important thing, that you have to enjoy it. That is the key to de-stressing the whole process. Otherwise, many questions were very comfortable. And some battlegrounds you opened yourself without any reason. This Taiwan battleground was not required to be opened. So one Canada battleground and Switzerland battleground and Taiwan. So you have to work a little bit, a couple of days on international issues, and particularly where you are related. Other things like volleyball team, both male,
female. I'm yet to read about the factual part of.
You should be ready with that.
Yes, sir.
And your home district, your town, your state, and whatever. That means most of the questions, I hope, will be from your DAF only, because you have given sufficient inducement to the board members on different parts, and you can easily anticipate the questions. I think if you sincerely sit together, I think 3-4 days it will take. But more importantly, because interview is not a knowledge test, it is personality test.
Right.
Even if, let's say, any human being can miss any fact or any particular, even if you miss certain things, you can honestly and comfortably say that, sorry sir, at the moment I'm not able to recall. It happens.
So, for example, there was this question of prime ministerial government. So, until it was factual, I was okay. But when I couldn't answer that question, what
you did is called false start, that you started answering the question. Midway, you discovered that you are not ready with it. So, take your 5-10 seconds, think about the question, formulate a synopsis of answer in 2-3 points and deliver it.
So, but is it okay to take time to speak?
Yeah, ask for, let me think over, if you could. Of course, if let's say there is anything to recollect certain things or to think over it, you can ask permission. If you believe that you can think in 2-3 seconds, within 5 seconds, no need to ask permission. If you are estimating that you may take more than 5 seconds, then ask permission.
Okay.
Okay, certain things, ma'am would suggest you.
Would you be wearing the same dress for the actual interview? No?
No.
And especially your footwear, it's very visible.
Okay. I'll change it, ma'am.
You are not going to wear that, right?
I'm not going to wear this sari.
Okay, but reconsider the footwear also, because color-wise also and because of the heels, both are very, very visible from this side of the table, okay? So do not get the attention of panel members towards that.
Okay, ma'am.
Overall, your appearance is very pleasant, and wherever you have articulated your answers, you have answers well. That means those where you are confident. With some value addition, some corrections, you can make the whole interview very, very impressive. And we look forward to a very impressive performance by you.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you so much.